Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends.
What's up, y'all?
Fantasy legend here got a W in the playoffs. Mr. Dannon here got a win.
Josh Allen. I think I would have, even if he would have made that trade with me, I think I still would have won that
I know,
game.
but how great was that, though? And it was Josh Allen that put you over the top at the end. That was like, yeah, and you see who beat you is Josh Allen. And I didn't see what he got at. He started Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah, I mean, Russell had 23 points.
He had all right. He did an all right game. I mean, especially because they beat the Texans and everything, but it wasn't really it wasn't like Russell Wilson like blew the game up and had like a 40-point game.
Yeah,
so
I mean, other than Terry McLaurin, my team did very well.
now you would have taken Devontae Adams away from him, so he would have lost that big points.
And he was the number one receiver too.
Yeah. So I don't know, but
It might have been a wash.
But either way, you
But
took,
I won.
both of the people that talk shit to me all year lost, so karma's a bitch, and I very much enjoyed that they came down this week, and Dannon did get the win. He is on now to play Gay Robert. Shut your mouth! His name is not actually Gay Robert, it's just Robert. However, he is gay, so it's my way that I like to identify
You have
him.
to call him that.
Well, we have two Roberts.
Oh, okay. So there's one.
So
Yeah, you don't
that's
wanna get
why
them confused.
I don't want people to not know who I'm talking about when I say, go talk to Gay Robert. Go ask Gay Robert.
So there's this guy that used to work at this Frisco's. His name's Bob. What's up, Bob?
Hey,
Bones. I texted him and eventually I told him about the podcast because he used to play fantasy football with us, and so he listened to it. He's like, he's a big baseball fan. He's like, I didn't realize it was you bashing my beloved baseball and not about fantasy football. And so I told him I would apologize. I'm sorry for bashing your beloved baseball, but I'm not apologizing to baseball because that shit's boring as fuck.
it is boring, and we don't watch until the playoffs. So that's how you know. That's it. I mean,
he also said he understands because it's an intellects game. And
well, you're right.
You're not.
That's not the company here. Okay, that's not what we do. That's not.
That was my response. Like, I've never been accused of that.
We need boom smash. Okay, I need the two men to collide, and I need to see who is stronger.
But yeah, sorry, Bob. I hope you keep watching. He wanted his subscription back and his like.
No way.
But
No,
he's hilarious. He's hilarious. So shout out to Bob.
Yeah.
Keep watching.
Shout out Bob. Shout out last week, Dannon getting the win, and there's some really good games that actually went down this week.
Yeah, I actually watched some. I
Nice.
actually watched quite a few of them this week, so I feel a little more prepared.
I watched all the early games, and then I went and did all my Christmas shopping, and that sucked all the dicks. That was no fun.
Guess what I'm not doing?
Christmas shopping? Good for you, man. Well, and it's not even like I didn't have to do a lot. I just had to get like a couple of white elephant gifts for both of the families. But even going to like Marshalls and
just dealing with all
just
the people.
crowd of
Why
fucking...
don't you just like do it on Amazon and shit?
Yeah, I'm not that person. And I'll tell you why. Because I get on the internet and I start looking for things like that. And then I spew off into... Now I'm just watching a YouTube video of something else. And I haven't done anything that I'm supposed to do.
At
I
least
need
you
to
don't just
hold
start
it.
buying shit.
Well, yeah, no, I can't. I don't do that either. And I also am very indecisive on the internet. So when I do, and I'm like going through and looking on Amazon, I'm like, I don't know. I need to hold in my hands. I need to. I'm an old person, I guess. I need to hold in my hands.
Yeah,
I need to
you're
look at.
fucking old.
Also like the instant gratification of having it. I don't like the whole, it got lost in the, or it's still on its way. I'm tracking it, but it's not here yet. I
understand.
I got it, and I can wrap it.
But you're like a dinosaur.
Yeah, I know. I'm so old. But let's see. So I guess maybe to start off a little bit, we can talk about where the playoff or the seeding is, because we had everybody's had their bye weeks. Everybody's got an equal record now. Everybody's played the same amount of games.
That's live. That's the
currently right now in the AFC, New England is number 1. Tennessee is number 2, Kansas City is number 3, and Baltimore is number 4. Those are the division leaders. New England. Hey! Shut up! I hear y'all down there. Stop it! The dogs are wrestling down below, and it is distracting me. But New England, Tennessee, and Kansas City all 9-4. I think Tennessee got that nice, easy cush win over Jacksonville this week, so that wasn't really fair. But Kansas City and New England,
Kansas City's actually.
Kansas City's shit. Kansas City behaves like they did this weekend.
Yeah, jeez.
Get the fuck out of the way.
Well, some of that was the Raiders, I think.
Yeah, no, the Raiders are imploding and the Raiders are not good. However, their defense for Kansas City, either it is that the Raiders are imploding or Kansas City's defense is like, hey, you know what?
They're definitely
We've won a Super Bowl.
It up,
yeah, and we've been to 2 in a row. We are a fucking good ass team with a good players everywhere. So they beat the absolute dog shit out of the Raiders. That was a boat race. That was like, they were making fun of it on the red zone. Like it was a joke. It was like, oh, and you want to see something else that Kansas City did?
Yeah, it was like 35-0 or some shit like that at halftime.
It was over at halftime. It was over. It was they could have just called
that was
it right
one
there.
That I watched that one live.
Yeah, that was an ass whooping. And then Baltimore had a tragic loss to Cleveland last second. Just a great play. And
won.
Great game. Baltimore 8-5.
Lamar,
they're going to make the playoffs. I think that it's a pretty long shot that they lose out here and they don't make the playoffs. I think it
depends on how long do you think Lamar's out.
Well,
it's an ankle sprain or
true,
something like that.
But they also, I think they could still find a way to win without Lamar Jackson.
Huntley?
Yeah, and maybe in spite of him, but only against bad teams, not against like this week they have Green Bay.
Huntley seemed to play a lot like Lamar. Like
he's just not as explosive. He's not as fast. Right, exactly. Yeah, so it's just not the same thing. And then the Chargers, they got a big win, and a big win over the Giants, I guess. But they went to 8-5, so now they're the 5
seed. It's a big win for them.
Yeah, it's a big win because it keeps them in this hunt. I still don't. I'm broken up with them. Even when I saw,
it's funny how ever since you broke up with them,
they've gone off. It is. It's not. And my new boo is struggled, and then what I did to Cincinnati, I'm dragging them down with me.
Lost 2 in a row.
Yep. Yeah,
Jesus, Jazz. Who do you want?
I got some sort of rabbit's foot that's the opposite of luck. I have
this year.
I have a dead cow hoof in my pocket. But Indianapolis got in there on a bye, but with the other losses that happened, the Indianapolis Colts are the 6th seed. I don't think that's going anywhere. I think that's here to stay. They have an awesome matchup coming up this week, so this will be a big test for them at home with New England.
Buffalo's lost like 3 in a row.
Yeah, right? Buffalo, and although they did play well in the second half of that game and they showed promise, it's like,
maybe run the ball.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
And
I ain't no NFL coach.
As a Josh Allen owner, you're probably like, don't do that. But they also, it made him better. It made them throw the ball a little bit better. They scored touchdowns at will in the second half. So,
and he. Do you want your quarterback to be your number one rusher?
Can't be. And especially now he's in a walking boot. Yeah. Like, this is cool for 15 weeks, but here we are week 15, and if Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are your running quarterbacks, they're both hurt. And it's not an accident. It's that this is what's going to happen to you if you are a scrambling. And you could say this about a lot of the scrambling quarterbacks. Look at Kyler Murray, banged up. Look at Aaron Rodgers is a scrambling. He likes to extend the pocket. He's got a banged up toe. His toe is fucked up because he's
been like that.
Yeah,
he's still playing.
And
good.
The 44-year-old just gets it done. And you know what? He got hit a couple of times in this game and got into it and got up and was fighting. Oh, I fucking love him so much. But okay,
You like Brady?
Have you ever heard that? Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big Brady fan. This is the Tom Brady Show. Maybe that's just a giant mural of him back here.
That would be hilarious. Like a fucking Tom Brady fat head, like his face.
Yeah, like he's like my dictator. Like he's like Kim Jong-un, and we just sit and we pray to it every day. But Buffalo is still in with the 7th seed, but they are 7-6, along with Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Denver, shockingly. But Denver
is starting to play. Yeah,
well, they started off 4-0. So they kind of started off to where it was like they were kind of playing with house money.
Didn't they lose like several in a row?
They lost a lot in a row. And they're going to be about a 500 team. But they might sneak. They could sneak in there.
Both running backs seem to be good.
Yeah, they're using both of them, and it's making the rest of the receivers and Noah Fant play better. So,
it's not helping Cortland Sutton much.
Now I don't know what's up with him. But you know what it is? That they're spreading the ball around to guys like Tim Patrick and Jerry Jeudy's back. So Cortland Sutton is kind of that. If you're an NFL defense, you're like, oh, we got to watch Cortland Sutton. Maybe he's getting double covered or whatever, and some of these other guys are just benefiting because of it. I still don't trust Teddy Bridgewater. But,
he's not going to make – I mean, I might even just drop him.
You have Teddy Bridgewater?
No, Cortland Sutton.
Oh, Cortland Sutton. Yeah, it's tough because you also are at the point in the season where injuries are big and you're in the playoffs. There's not a lot out there in the waiver wire, so I'd be scared to drop him.
I'd much rather. I have AJ Green and KJ Osborne, which I'd absolutely start.
Yeah. But I guess Denver could have a good. Who's Denver going? Oh, Cincinnati. It's a good matchup though. I don't know. I guess there could be a matchup maybe coming up where you're like, oh, they're playing a shit. Nah, I don't know. I'm trying to talk you into it. You're dropping him. Fuck Cortland Sutton.
I don't know if I'll drop him.
Fuck Cortland Sutton. And then we go to the NFC. Green Bay is number one right now. I don't know why they're number one over Tampa Bay. I thought when they played head to head, I thought Tampa Bay beat them. Am I crazy? Did that not happen this year?
You're absolutely crazy. I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know.
You can't trust my memory.
Yeah. But Green Bay right now is number one. Tampa Bay is number two. And Arizona is number three. Dallas is number four. Those are the division leaders. And Arizona, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, all 10-3. Tampa Bay, baby.
Tampa looks good.
Tampa Bay, who's beating this team? I mean, especially they started off just fucking kicking the fuck out of Buffalo, and it was like, oh, this is over. And I think the defense kind of got a little complacent, and they let a lot of shit go that they shouldn't have. People wanted to say that was pass interference at the very end during the regular end of the fourth quarter. I say if they're hand fighting like that and the cornerback and the receiver are both doing it and they're like both pushing each other, then it's kind of a wash. And you don't want to call a game like that. To an
extent, yeah. You don't want
to. The last play of the game.
You don't want the game to be on the ref.
On a ref? Yeah, come on. Get the fuck out of here. Plus, you went to overtime and Buffalo got the ball first. You had the chance. You had the chance to go down and score, do something, kick a field goal, do anything. And you didn't do it. And my 44-year-old fucking hero walked in there and just went, nah, I'll finish this right here. And he also, that very last play, Skip Bayless brought up a great point. He's like, that's what makes him that pocket quarterback that you can't, like some of these guys don't get. He stayed in the pocket for about 5-6 seconds. He waited and waited and waited for Perriman to come all the way across. He waited for it to develop. Then he threw the ball. He took a big hit too, but where these other guys, Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, and these guys are twitching and trying to shake you and get you away from it, he realizes that, no, I just have to let the play. It's that Peyton Manning, I'm just going to stand here and I'm going to let the play happen because I know what the play design is. And I know if my guy gets open, we might have a much better shot of me running around. Now I've taken my eyes off the target. Now I'm not paying attention. That's why he's the best. That's why he's the GOAT. It's why he ended up with this walk-off win in overtime. His 700 passing touchdown happened to be the game winner that he beat Buffalo a record amount of time. He like
30, what is it now?
Yeah, 32, 33, something like that. Fucking unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then the Rams, I called it. I said it. I said that they were going to beat them, and it was more that I was rooting against the Cardinals, and I'm glad it happened. It was still a good game.
It was a good game, too.
It was a good game.
I watched that one.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the highlights when I got home last night, and I saw that Arizona, and I was watching at the very end at work. I was watching as Arizona kind of made that last push.
Good,
James Conner.
You dropped him?
week one, I dropped him. Week one, I dropped him. Do not drop your players. I'm gonna have a fucking. It's gonna be right behind the mural. It's gonna say, "Don't drop players." Well. Don't do them hastily. Don't do them in the first week. Don't base anything based off of week one. I dropped Mike Gesicki and James Conner off of 1 week. 1 week of play, and I went, I've seen enough. I'm done here. And that's crazy. You can't do that. The first week in the NFL is always weird. You have guys that come out and have jitters. You have guys, it's all, I don't know. But the Rams got a big win. They are number 5. They will probably stay there. I would imagine that's probably not going to change that top 5, especially because after that is why the NFC is hilarious, because San Francisco at 7-6 and Washington at 6-7 are both right now in the playoffs, and neither one of them to me are very good teams.
San Francisco's been playing better, but again, it goes back to if their defense plays well.
Right, and Jimmy G led a great, and George Kittle is fucking amazing, and
he's been going off. Jeez,
one of the catches he had was incredible. And if they go through George Kittle and they have a little bit of a running game, they're not a bad team. They're not winning a Super Bowl. I guess that's my like. I could make an argument in the AFC for all 7 of those teams, maybe minus Buffalo, just because Buffalo has been kind of up and down. But the rest of them, I mean, they could go on a run. The rest of them, they're banged up, but Derrick Henry's about to come back. If Lamar Jackson comes back for the playoffs healthy for him, all those guys in the AFC could win. But in the NFC, to me, it's Tom Brady or bust. I mean, Green Bay and Arizona are probably their biggest competition.
I think you can throw the Rams in there.
Yeah, maybe. The Rams are coming on.
And I mean, honestly, Dallas. Dallas has got a good defense.
Yeah, but Dak has played terrible these last couple games. You're right about their defense. They are winning because of their defense. Micah Parsons is legit, and Trayvon Diggs is legit. And I mean, they've switched over to that, but they're probably just lost Tony Pollard for the season. So with him out for the season, and now Zeke is still not 100%. If your running game is not there for Dallas and you're solely relying on Dak Prescott, it just doesn't seem like it's working.
The receivers are healthy now.
We'll see. I don't believe in Dak. I don't believe in Dak. I really don't. I know that's a cruel thing to say to the Cowgirls because they're so sensitive, but no, I don't see. I think that most Cowboys fans probably feel how I'm saying too. That is he going to win you a Super Bowl? I don't know. It's tough to say.
I don't know. Cowboy fans are delusional.
They do. They think that every year. They think they're going to win every year. And
not like Texans fans.
No, we know what's up. We're in for a bad couple of years, actually. Especially now that I saw we might go for a defensive end play Davis Mills. Hey.
Defensive tackle.
Hey. Davis Mills is not the answer here. Get a rub and tug in the basement. Bring him in. Show him all the people that will jerk him off and make Deshaun stay. If not, you have to go draft another quarterback because Davis Mills is not the guy.
You don't like Davis Mills?
I don't think he's a franchise quarterback.
He had like 300 yards.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so did who's that guy on the Jets? Mike White. You catch fucking lightning in a bottle every now and then. Every what's the saying? Every fish, every horse.
The sun shines on every dog's ass once in a while.
Once in a while.
A blind squirrel gets a nut.
There you go.
One of those.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not winning a Super Bowl with Davis fucking Mills. But and then how sad is the NFC that Minnesota, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and New Orleans are all 6-7.
Wow.
And all have a chance of sneaking in there. Some of those teams Atlanta.
But Minnesota actually is a pretty good team.
They are. They just can't get it right though.
Yeah.
They lose games just all the time. I mean,
but of those,
yeah, no, I'm with
honestly,
you.
Honestly,
Philly.
Washington through New Orleans, Minnesota's probably the best.
I think Philly has shown moments of really good though.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is a young team, so it's hard for me to fully judge them. Minnesota probably is more well-rounded, but Philly's got, Devontae Smith is a playmaker, and I like some of those Philly players. Yeah. Wow, so I haven't even started a timer here. We don't know where we're at, but I know that we've talked for a long time and we haven't even talked about each game. So let's do it. Thursday night was actually a really good game.
Another good game. Well,
Chase Claypool, fucking Chase Claypool, you dumb motherfucker. Yeah. I hope that not only do you not get drafted in fantasy football next year, you might not even be on a team because fucking Mike Tomlin might be done with your ass. That was unbelievable. You saw what happened?
I did see what happened. I just don't remember what happened.
He got a first down with, I think, 36, 38 seconds left, and he gets up. They have no timeouts. It's in the middle of the field. He gets up and he's, first down. Let's go, baby. He's holding on to the ball. His lineman comes over and has to slap the fucking ball out of his hands. He's like, dude, we don't have a timeout, you stupid motherfucker. He cost them at least 15 seconds. I think they clocked it at 16 seconds from the time he got the ball to the ball got back to where it just took forever. And that's two plays.
He did some stupid shit earlier in the game, too.
He had a personal foul where he stuck his finger into somebody's face.
Right. That's what it was.
So Tomlin benched him for a little bit of the game, too. Just the kid's an idiot, and you were a huge mistake. I reached for you. I thought you were a touchdown machine, but you're an idiot machine. And
he was the number 20 wide receiver this week, though.
Was he? Whatever. He did all right. He caught a lot of passes, but he's a moron, and it would not be surprising to me if Big Ben does not look his way very much going forward because he is a moron. And he loves your boy Deontay Johnson, and Najee had a good game too. But Minnesota figured this out. They got the win. Dalvin Cook went the fuck off. We didn't even know he was a game time decision, and he went to play, and he scored like 40 points. Big reason why the other guy, the Cooper Kupp guy, won. A Cooper Kupp guy is in our fantasy league. His name's like something Red Solo Cup or something like that for Cooper Kupp, who is the number one fantasy player this year. That is not a quarterback, Cooper Kupp. Unbelievable. I don't know how I started talking about this, but I guess it's because Minnesota, Dalvin Cook did really well. Minnesota did really well. It was not 36-28 for the whole game. It was like 30-3, or
Pittsburgh came back.
Pittsburgh ended up scoring a lot later on in the game, made a game of it. Had a chance at the very end. They
turnovers, couple questionable turnovers and throws by Kirk Cousins, and
yes, Kirk Cousins
especially
is always trying to give the win away. It's like his favorite thing to do. He's like, let's get up early, and then I'm gonna make you sweat. Like he loves the late.
Man, he wants that late drama.
Yeah, he loves the drama. He doesn't want these games that he's like, wait, are we winning by more than 3?
This is weird.
I'm gonna fuck this up.
Yeah. And come on, you like that?
Yeah, you like that.
You like that?
I'm not gonna be able to walk back to the locker room screaming at cameras if we win by 40. That's not. I need this to be the last second where we're all excited. But they did. They won by more than 3. They won 36-28. They had a chance at the very end. Freiermuth had it, but he dropped it.
But he had it in his hand.
The Harrison Smith guy made a great play though. That was more great play by the defense. But yep, 36-28. They covered. I got that right.
Jefferson had another good game.
What did you say?
Osborne I was wrong.
Nah.
I said Pittsburgh.
Nah. Well,
it was because of the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, you would think Minnesota in a 3-point game, they usually give that away. But
they got the number perfect.
Yeah, they did. They did good, and Minnesota should be always in that 3-point range. Let's see what they are next week. 3.5. They're getting crazy. Chill out, Vegas. Chill out. I don't even know. That makes me nervous. Yeah. But then we had Seattle come here to Houston, Texas, and stomp our dicks in the dirt. As we should. This is what we should be doing. We should lose all the games.
Good
job. It makes me mad that Jacksonville's just as bad. I wish
Jacksonville ain't even trying anymore.
Yeah, Jacksonville is like, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I've continually had to be like, no, he's all right. He's good, but he looked fucking terrible in this game. He threw a couple picks.
How long until Urban Meyer gets fired? Like, Jesus.
The owner said he's not going to make a crazy decision, but it might not even be that Urban Meyer gets fired. I think Urban Meyer just quits because he doesn't like this shit.
I don't like this.
Did you hear what he said this week? He said I'm going to have to talk to the other coaches who are in charge of the running backs because I didn't realize that James Robinson even got benched. Because there was a whole thing this last week where Trevor Lawrence was saying, James Robinson needs to be on the field. And he fumbled at one point in the game, and I guess he got benched. But Urban Meyer is acting like he didn't even know. He's like, I didn't even know he got benched. Hold on. Your starting fucking running back is benched? And you don't know about it?
You're the head coach.
Jesus Christ.
Go back to college, Urban.
Yeah. I don't even. There might not even be a fucking place for you back in college, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
Enough money. Go retire. Go
just get the fuck out of here. Go get grinded on by some chick at a Hooters or whatever that was. Go do what you do. But you are not doing well here in the NFL. And Trevor Lawrence made some fucking. Oh my God! There were a couple of throws that it was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck did you see there? Like, did you want to throw that to the Tennessee guy? That was awful. So they're a long way away, maybe longer than anybody. Yeah. Maybe they might be the worst. Because I see Detroit and us, at least in the next couple of years, we could try to change some things up. I think they like Dan Campbell in Detroit, and I think he could try to maybe redraft that team. But Jacksonville, I mean, what do you have to look forward to on Jacksonville? What do you have?
Well, I mean, hopefully Trevor Lawrence and Etienne, but...
Oh, Etienne. Yeah, I forgot about him because he'll be back next year. But Trevor Lawrence,
they're gonna step it up a little bit.
Got to. But speaking of step it up a little bit, Houston, you stay right where you're at. That was wonderful. Yeah. Seattle.
Lockett had another big game.
Lockett did.
Finally had a big game.
Yeah, and it got him. He had such a big game that it finally projected him up into this top 20. I would say. I don't feel great about Seattle going forward. I mean, this might have just been a flash in the pan because it was Houston.
Wilson's probably feeling a little better. His fingers probably getting healthier.
But they got the Rams next week.
Yeah, and they're so wishy-washy.
Yeah, with the way that the Rams played on Monday night, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm for sure starting DK and Tyler Lockett, I would just have a little bit of pause on it. But they were a 7.5 point favorite. They obviously covered because it was 33-13. That's 20 points if my math's correct. And Seattle looked really, like this was easy money for the Seattle Seahawks. Yep. Baltimore then went to Cleveland. This was a great game. It came down to the wire. It came down to the very last play where they made a pass and it was 4th down. And I think Huntley was just trying to get the first down, but the cornerback Denzel Ward came up and just stuck him in the game. It was a great way to end the game, and it actually did make me cover the spread because it was 2.5. So I went with Baltimore. So they did not. Cleveland did not win by 2.5, which I don't know how you'd win by 0.5 point, but
it's to eliminate a push.
Gotcha. But I was wrong in the grand scheme of things because I said Baltimore would win this game, and Cleveland ended up getting the win. But they went back to the running backs a little bit more, right? They went to Nick Chubb a little more.
Kareem Hunt got hurt. And Chubb.
Again. What did he
played
score?
Okay, he under 10 points.
Oh, really? Okay. I really don't really remember this game that well. Then some defensive. Oh, I do remember there was some defensive scoring that happened, and I mean it was a good close game. Jarvis Landry, I think, scored a touchdown.
He scored his first touchdown.
Yeah. And Huntley, like you said, I mean, Huntley does not look terrible.
No, he played okay he's the one that brought him back.
Yeah. And going forward, I think that he could win you some games against bad teams. However, this week they're playing Green Bay. I don't think they're going to get that win.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Not without Lamar.
Yeah. And nobody that really jumped off the waiver wire area for either one of these teams. Most people are owned, and Mark Andrews had a fucking baller game again. Mark Andrews got himself up in the top 20. He's over Travis Kelce now as the number 1 tight end. And going forward into next year, I have to assume that's where we're going to draft him, probably in
number
the tight
one?
end. No, for tight ends, I would assume Travis Kelce's number 1. Still, I would assume most people are going to say that.
Kelsey, Waller, Kittle.
Waller's gotten hurt a lot, and I guess it depends on who's the quarterback for the Raiders, but if they're rolling out the same thing again, where it's Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs and some no-name coach, I'm not big on the Raiders.
Boy Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow killing it. Top 20 as well. Made it into the top 20 because of his.
That's my best decision of the year.
His fucking behavior. Was that a waiver wire pickup? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and he went undrafted in a lot of leagues, and I do not believe that'll happen next year. I'm pretty sure he's going to get picked up next year, just based on just targets alone. They throw to him so much.
Yeah, of
their team. Yeah, he definitely is. Did we talk about where were we? Jacksonville at Tennessee. I guess we could talk about that, but 20-0, Tennessee stomped them. Jacksonville, like we said, is just they are not even trying. It is not even close. I would not pick them against anybody this entire year. And next week is Houston, and I still.
That'd be a good game.
Yeah, good game of shit. Keep it out of my face, Red Zone. Do you hear me? I am here in Houston. It's what the local channel wants me to watch, and I pay for you so that I don't have to watch things like this. But Kansas City. And Vegas, that was another one that was an absolute beat down. After the Tennessee one, you're like, oh, it can't get much worse than this. Holy fuck. They were just stomping them out. They were scoring pick sixes. They were recovering fumbles. Their defense scored like 30 points. Patrick Mahomes had a great game. Tyreek Hill had a great game. It was
all the running backs scored.
Yeah. Hilaire and Williams scored.
Hilaire and some dude named Gore.
Yeah. Not Frank Gore, right? God, is it still you,
Derek
Frank?
Gore.
Are you still here, Frank? Jesus.
He had 11 touches.
Wow. Yeah.
Josh Gordon scored too.
Yeah, Josh Gordon did score. I saw that little screen pass. And Kansas City, as of recent, they're scary.
They're starting.
They're scary.
Looks like they're starting to figure it out again.
Yeah, they're looking like a good team that I would not want to play in the playoffs. So we'll see. And then this is where I was wrong. I just wasn't really believing in this Taysom Hill New Orleans Saints, but I guess against the Jets I should have been smarter than this. But New Orleans went to the Jets and beat the fuck out of them. It was 30-9. They easily covered their 5.5 point spread, but I went with the Jets. I don't know why. I like marijuana, so I'm not usually in a normal state of mind. But New Orleans played better. I'm still not like Alvin Kamara had
he came back and had a great game,
and I guess with a Taysom Hill run, with the quarterback of Taysom Hill, that is what your game plan is.
And also to get your best offensive weapon back.
Yeah,
it helps.
Well, they don't have any receivers. I mean, I just don't know who the fuck they're throwing the ball to. So
they're not.
Yeah. But 30-9, good easy win over a really bad team. But yeah. Nobody really that I saw that I would pick up on either side there, especially because New Orleans, you don't really know what you're going to get out of any of them other than Kamara. Dallas then went to Washington. This was a good game.
That was a good game, yeah.
Dallas got up early. It seemed like that Dallas was going to easily win this game, and then Taylor Heineke came screaming back. Your boy Terry McLaurin had 0 points. Trayvon Diggs was on him. Yeah, but that wasn't until the very end. Trayvon Diggs they showed it. He was glued to him. Trayvon Diggs.
And I had actually considered not starting him because of that.
Yeah.
I was like, you go with the guys that got you there,
Yeah, no, Terry McLaurin is a great receiver. And even the play that he got concussed on, he was jumping up trying to catch this incredible ball and just slam down to the ground. And Dallas got a good win though. Again, I mean, Dak, he has looked really bad in the last couple of games. Shut your fucking mouth. He's looked really, really bad in the last couple of games, and they have an easy game this week of the Giants. They should get that win, but I'm just saying, and their defense is how they're going to win games because of Micah Parsons. In the playoffs, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I see them. I mean, they might get a good week one. Actually, no, because the Rams are going to stay right there at that number 5 seed. They're going to stay there. Unless the Cardinals lose out and the Rams win out, which is the only scenario I could see them switching.
Beat Arizona?
Who?
Dallas.
But Dallas will have to play the Rams, won't they?
That's what I'm saying. If Arizona loses and they flip-flop.
Yeah, either way. I guess either way is what you're saying.
Arizona.
Yeah. I don't see them beating either one of those teams.
Right.
I don't see Dallas beating the Rams, and I don't see Dallas beating Arizona. Even if it is in Dallas, I don't see it happening. I really don't. So, I'm just not a Cowgirl believer. I never will be. Fuck the Cowgirls. But they did cover this spread, and they won by 4. I picked them, so I got that right. Just because I can't really trust Washington, and I still can't trust Washington. I don't know what they are. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think Heineke got hurt.
Did he? Yeah, because Kyle Allen was in at the end of that game. And they confirmed today that Logan Thomas has a torn ACL.
Okay, so
he'll be out for the year. So
they won't have Logan Thomas. They might not have McLaurin this week.
Yeah, that's
might not have Heineke.
Yeah, not
and
good.
They got to play Philly.
Yeah, not in Philly. Yeah, not a good look for Washington going forward. And then we went to one where I got it right. This was one that I took a chance on, and I just kind of don't believe in Carolina. And they proved me right. Atlanta at Carolina. Cam Newton sucks. It is over for Cam Newton. I don't think anybody would debate that. I don't think that there is a single team out there that would pick him up after he is inevitably dropped from this year's. He will either be cut by the end of the year, or after this year they will let him go. And he will have to be a backup no matter what. No matter where he is, he will have to be a backup. And even then, do you really want that?
I wouldn't. Where's the upside?
Kyle Allen coming in for Washington did better than he did.
Yeah.
It's going to sound terrible, but Mike Glennon scored 21 points on the Chargers.
Or even Huntley from the...
Huntley looked way better. Oh, my God. Huntley's way better than Cam Newton. Cam Newton is terrible.
Yeah.
And he cannot throw the ball anymore. I don't know if he ever was a great thrower of the ball.
He was not.
But he is completely lost it after all the shoulder surgeries that he's had. And he's so inaccurate. And he also can't run the same way anymore. So he is a player that is not
He's
needed.
a liability now.
He's a liability.
He's an asset, yeah.
And Carolina has got to figure out.
Carolina's garbage.
They got to figure out their quarterback situation. Who is your quarterback? You traded for Sam Darnold, you fucking psychopaths. I don't know what you saw in that.
Well, in the beginning of the year, we were like, fuck.
Yeah, it was
Sam
all right.
Darnold might be a good quarterback.
He just inevitably went off the tracks like it always
after
does.
Like 3 or 4 weeks.
Like it always does. He falls apart. But Atlanta got this win, and like I said, I mean, they're 6-7.
Is that Mike Davis is getting more touches now.
Yeah.
It seems like him and Patterson had about the same amount of.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but at the very end of the game, it was still right back and forth with Atlanta and Carolina, and Cordell Patterson was sitting out for the last. So I don't know if he was hurt or what happened.
I didn't hear anything about him being hurt.
Doesn't matter because you beat or the other guy that has Cordell Patterson.
So he's out.
He lost, so we don't have to worry about him or Leonard Fournette anymore.
Yay.
You're free of that. You've just got this guy that you're playing's got Kyler Murray. He's got Austin Eckler. He's got Debo Samuel. So he's got a pretty good team, but it's not as scary as some of these other guys that have been going off. Let's see. Detroit at Denver. Denver had this whole thing with Demaryius Thomas, and I actually probably would have switched knowing that now because I was like, man, I feel like they're going to come out and they're going to kill it for him. Demaryius Thomas found dead at his place this week. I think it was just like a
heart attack or something like that.
Seizure or something. Yeah. Something he was in his shower, so he was alone, and he was. It's crazy, man. So sad. Yeah, it was a bummer.
I was in this keeper league, and I had every year you could keep 3 players, and you got to keep them in the draft spot, just 1 round up. Right. Okay. So let's say I drafted somebody. So I drafted Demaryius Thomas 1 year with my last pick.
Oh wow!
Right when he was a rookie, and so then I kept him and he would instead of my 14th pick, he'd be my 13th round pick.
Wow!
And so and the other one was Jordy Nelson. So I had like 2 fucking badass receivers that were like my last 2 picks like every year.
You
but
didn't even have to worry about it. You're like, I'm just going to get them.
R.I.P. freaking Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, he was great. He was great for the little stint that he had with Denver.
Yeah. Especially when Peyton got there.
Yeah. And that was a bummer. To see. But Denver really showed up for him. They balled out. It was against Detroit, who is not a good team. I keep rooting for them, and I picked them
too.
But I think it was the 8 points. I think 8 seemed like a lot.
Well, because Detroit likes to play close games.
Right.
Or we thought they did.
Yeah, but Jared Goff's just not very good, and they got killed 38-10.
Both Denver running backs played really well.
Yeah, I think going forward, we'll see next year if they're both still on the team. But that must be the plan that they like that Javonte Williams kid, like I thought. But it's just Melvin
needs
Gordon
more
is there.
touches,
Melvin Gordon's in the way for him to be a good fantasy choice. But Detroit, man, keep fighting.
They're also all hurt too.
Because I need y'all to win some games. I need y'all to win at least 2 more games and us to lose all the games. And then that way we can have the number 1 pick. However, you play Arizona this week with a monster 14-point spread, and I think they're going to cover it. Yeah, Detroit terrible. Denver, like you said, they've been playing better. I mean,
it's kind of weird ever since they traded Von Miller.
Yeah, they could sneak in. So, hey, calm the folk down. Then we have the Giants at the Chargers. I did not want to pick the Chargers just because I'm done with them. But they did play really well. Justin Herbert played really well. I think Keenan Allen got hurt again though.
I think that they said he's on the COVID list.
Oh, okay. I thought it was that he went down at the end of the game before that, but then
I think he was on COVID.
Gotcha. There were a lot of people that went on the COVID list this week, and the Giants, even with Mike Glennon, they fought. They're not that bad.
Yeah,
of a team.
they're not a terrible team.
It's hard for me to say they're a terrible team. They're obviously the bottom of the league.
Few pieces away though. Yeah. I mean, they're not terrible.
And Daniel Jones is probably not it. So I would go look for a quarter. I'd be looking for a new quarterback. Yeah. Mike Glennon's definitely not it. But the Chargers played a lot better. I know Mike Williams had a good game.
Yeah. Eckler got hurt. They said he could have came back, but they didn't need him.
Yeah.
Herb Better.
Well, that's good for you. You want Eckler to be banged up for next week because that's his big guy.
I have him in the other.
In
my other league.
Interesting.
So it's a wash.
Gotcha. And then we went to another really good game, which was San Francisco at Cincinnati. This was back and forth. Man, poor young Cincinnati. I still believe in Cincinnati. I think next year is their year. This year might not be their year, but you talk about a couple pieces away. They are a couple pieces away.
Yeah.
And Tyler Boyd played really well. So did T. Higgins. Their sprint and Jamar Chase had a fucking nice ass catch for a touchdown. But Jimmy G actually, he drove them down the field. They had that thing in overtime where Cincinnati, I believe, kicked a field goal in overtime, or did they score in overtime? But then I think San Francisco had a chance to answer back.
And they scored a touchdown.
And they scored a touchdown.
I didn't watch that one.
That was a good game. That was a really good game. That was really back and forth the entire time. San Francisco, like you said, I mean, when their defense comes out and they play well, they have a chance. But
I'm so tired today.
Yeah. Was a 1-point favorite for Cincinnati. I went with Cincinnati and I was wrong.
I got that one right. Yay.
San Fran got that win. I always do really bad on the second half of the games. I always start off strong and then the second half I'm terrible.
But I'm tired.
I'll tell you where I'm never gonna pick against, and I'm never wrong, and we've already talked about it, is Buffalo at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got that amazing walk-off win, 27-33. We talked about that game already.
We did talk about it.
Chicago at Green Bay. That was
a fucking weird.
It was a weird game. Chicago came out early, and it looked like, okay, we're gonna have an actual football game here, and then Green Bay answered back.
And they said no.
Green Bay had some big defensive plays, a pick six.
And then Chicago had some trick plays and some special teams plays that were keeping it.
Yeah.
Fields played better.
Yeah, they did. They made a game out of this.
Yeah.
Even though it's 30-45, it felt like an interesting
it was a
game.
Bears-Packers game, you know?
Yeah. And I watched that for a while before, because my lady, you know, she sits through a lot of football. She's a trooper. She sits and she's not really paying attention, but it's on in the background and I'm watching, so she has to watch a lot of it. So usually the Sunday night game, at some point I give up and I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, they were up and I was like, Green Bay's gonna win this game. It's over. And what did we watch? We tried to start a couple of things. We tried to start a couple of things on Netflix, but we finally watched Cowboy Bebop, which we watched one episode of. It was fucking awesome violence. Good,
never heard.
Good violent shit. If you want some good, shoot 'em.
So if I want good violence,
good
Cowboy
good
Bebop.
kicking and fighting and fucking and shitting and pooping and popping. Yeah, it was good. And we only watched one episode, but it was nice. And Green Bay did they get the spread? Yeah, 12.5. Yep. Because that's 15. So 30-45, Green Bay covered the spread. I got that right. I got the Tampa Bay one right, and I got the Monday Night Football right because I was rooting against the Cardinals, to be honest. I really didn't know who would win, but I got it right.
Rooting against Connor.
Yeah, I heard that.
Who played awesome, though.
Yeah, he did. He had a fucking great game. And I went 9-14. I guess 10-14 if you're talking about Vegas, because I did get the Baltimore one right.
That's what we're talking about.
That was what we're talking about. So I went 10 out of 14. MyBookie.com called. They said we're gonna we're bringing the Brinks truck. We're bringing the money, baby. Yeah.
So pickups this week then.
You said some people. You said
Rashad Penny played really well. Seems to be getting the ball.
Yeah. Maybe Durham Williams on the Chiefs.
He's scored
consistent,
a lot.
Yeah.
He's been getting touchdowns.
Yeah.
There was somebody else. Maybe not.
I don't know. I went and looked, and it is slim pickings at this point. You are really kind of rolling the dice on a couple of these.
Yeah,
and
there's not much out there.
It's because it's that time of the year. I mean, we've picked up everybody that needs to be picked up. We've dropped the people that should be dropped. Chase Claypool should be out there. I should have dropped you. But yeah, we're pretty much at the end of the waiver wire era. It's almost to where fantasy football's over.
Yeah.
And then Dannon has a great idea where we are literally going to just walk straight up here and just because you guys missed the first show.
Yeah,
the first show is always where we're smoking a bowl and we're just talking as soon as he gets here and we just spew at each other and we
because we don't really talk all week.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we see each other. It's like,
sit down.
You see this, and then it's like we burn through the first hour that y'all don't even get to see. Yep. We're gonna put a camera somewhere so that y'all can hear the first show, the pre-show. But yeah, I got the Rams and the Cardinals. We talked about that a little bit too. Odell actually.
Yeah, he played
Odell
much better.
playing a lot.
And honestly, so did Von Miller.
Yeah, but who played the best? But who's the number one motherfucker? He passed Jonathan Taylor this week.
Oh, Cup.
Cooper motherfucking Cup.
He's good.
He's just you saw that's how Brant's lost. The way that Brant's lost, all that he had left going was Cooper Cup, and I think he was
down by 30 or something.
Yeah, he was down by 30,
that.
but guess who scores 30?
He scored over
consistently.
30. What did he score?
Always scoring motherfucking 30 points.
Oh, he scored 31.
Yeah.
So he must have only been down by like 27.
Yeah, and he beat him only by a couple, but man, Cooper Cup. You could argue. We'll talk about it in the next show. We'll talk about it in the next show. I don't know how long this has been. I'm assuming it's been an hour.
We did it.
But we definitely talked about last week.
Bob, I'm sorry. Keep watching.
Yeah.
Baseball is awesome. It's so exciting.
Because you motherfuckers better figure this shit out. Because I swear to God, if y'all have a fucking lockout for these pansies, I'm over it. Get it together. You know what I didn't realize, too, is that they can't do any free agent moves. So we're sitting here like...
So Carlos can't get signed.
Yeah, Carlos Correa and them can't get signed. And we were sitting here in the middle of this free agency frenzy, and then y'all fucked it all up. Goddamn baseball.
Wow.
Sorry, Bob, but baseball needs to get it together. But yeah, this was week 14. We're going to talk about week 15 tomorrow. Peace out.
Bye.